Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Just a Podcast. I'm here with Caitlin
Hello.
today. And just as always, we're just going to jump right into it.
Perfect.
Was there something else that sparked your adventurous side, like field trips, school activities,
Yeah.
club events, things like that?
I was involved in Girl Scouts when I was a little girl,
Okay.
which they always were encouraging activities and like just going outside and just being adventurous and exploring the world around us and everything. Um, but mostly, yeah, I would have to say also um, besides Girl Scouts, my parents are really big hikers and skiers, and all of my friends are as well. So, um, I've been skiing since I was 4, I want to
Okay.
say. So, and then
Wow.
I actually switched over to snowboarding because long story. I took a nasty fall again and
Okay.
happened to be skiing.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, and I just love being outdoors and exploring, and I've always had the urge to travel. I've always had that desire since I was a little girl. And it's for as long as I can remember. My dad is an airplane mechanic, and he was also in the army, and he had told me all the stories about how he's traveled the world. My mom herself has traveled the world, and so they've been very blessed with experiences, and so it's made me want to go out and start my own and
Mm-hmm.
experiences. So definitely I would have to say it was my parents who have had the most influence on my desire for adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's definitely what sparked, I'd say, my most adventurous side.
Okay. What are some of your favorite adventure spots in your area that you always go to and it's always like, whoa.
Amazing. Obviously, Colorado, just nature wise, is just a gorgeous place, scenery wise. One of my favorite hikes back home, we call it the Crack.
Okay.
It's a pretty difficult hike. You hike up to this mountain where there's literally just a large crack in the side of the
Okay.
mountain, and half of the hike is getting to the crack itself,
Okay.
and then the remainder of the hike is you are trying to like shimmy your way and scale through the rocks in
Okay.
between this crevice of the
Mm-hmm.
mountain. And it's a little dangerous in some
Yeah.
parts, but it's like once you get out, so you have to kind of crawl on top of all these rocks and everything, but once you get out, the view is amazing, and it's just one of my favorite hikes just because of the sheer adventure of
Mm-hmm.
kind of, it's a little dangerous but also thrilling at the same
Yeah.
time, so that's one of my favorite adventure spots, I'd have to say.
Okay.
So Grand Canyon, not Grand Canyon, the Colorado National Monument is what
Okay.
it's called. If you're ever interested in it, and if any of your
Y-
viewers are interested in
okay.
it, it's a fun place to visit. It's not for the faint of heart, to say
Yeah.
the least. So you have to have a strong mind and strong legs,
Yeah.
because yeah, hiking is
Just,
not easy. Yeah,
oh.
like oof, you can do it. You can do
Yeah.
anything you set your mind to, but it definitely takes a physical toll on your body. But like I said, I'm a huge nature lover. I love the outdoors, so I love hiking. It's my favorite way to get exercise while
Mm-hmm.
also just being in nature and enjoying that and getting away from the real world and city life
Yeah.
and just taking a temporary escape.
It's the scenery that kind of gives me the push
Me
to
too.
keep going. It's like
You gotta get to
I
the
gotta
end.
keep going.
Yeah, you have
I
to look.
can't stop.
The
Just
views at the end are
yeah,
what are really worth it,
just
or
breathe
even
for
during.
yeah. You
So
just breathe for a little bit, take a
exactly.
little weight, and then
It's the nice
let's
thing
keep
about
going.
hike. It's not a marathon. It's a hike.
Yeah.
You're taking your time. It's a nature walk. It doesn't have to be a race, or
Mhm.
you can go slow or as fast as you would like.
Yes.
That's what I love about hiking.
Um, what are some eateries you have to go to when you go back? When you land, you always have to go to these places. It's always top notch.
Yeah. Well, back home in my hometown, we have a famous pizza place called Hot Tomato. It
Okay.
has amazing pizza. They're really big, like almost like New York style, but
Okay.
they always have kind of like what's the word, like seasonal pizzas, like during the summer. Also, where I live, we're known for agricultural, so like peaches and corn. That's pretty much what a lot of Grand Junction's famous for. But we're known for Palisade peaches, and so during the summer, of course, that's prime peach season. They will put the peaches on the pizza, and it's called the Palisade
Okay.
Peach Pizza. It's a mouthful, but it's surprisingly delicious. You wouldn't think it
Okay.
is, but it's really good. They somehow make it delicious. But I mean, aside from that, they have just great pizza. But if you're never in the Grand Junction area, if you're in the Denver area, I would have to say, do you like breakfast?
I do.
So I would have to recommend Jelly Cafe.
Okay.
Has, if you like biscuits and jelly, they have homemade biscuits, which are amazing. They're, biscuits tend to be like a little dry sometimes. They're moist, they're fluffy, and then they
Okay.
have homemade jelly, which is monthly, depends on like whatever fruit is in season. And they have pretty much everything's homemade, and
Okay.
it's a small little, it's only in Denver, Colorado, so it's a
Okay.
local cafe, and it's delicious, and highly recommended if you ever go to Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely some good places to eat. Oh my gosh, I have like 1,000 places. I could go on for days.
So there's a lot more family or joint eateries that really put the touches in the food.
Exactly, yeah. They just kind of add the personal touch, I would have to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
that family aspect.
You just put it in there, you eat it first bite, always like, oh, hey,
Like,
whoa,
oh, okay, this is delicious. And
Yeah.
there's a reason why. It's not just the, straight out of the packet or microwaved,
Yeah.
like every other chain restaurant, I feel like. But yeah, so these definitely are different.
Okay. Were you introduced to any eateries by friends and family?
Yeah, actually, I mean, a lot of places. Mostly, I mean, Hot Tomato, that was just one that I've just grown up around.
Okay.
But Jelly, that was one that actually my current boyfriend introduced to me. We've been dating for 3 years now, and that was one of the first places we went to on a date. And so maybe that's another reason why I like that.
Yeah.
Have some good memories behind it. But aside from that, so he introduced me to that place. I mean, my mom has great taste in food, as well as
Okay.
my dad. He is like a steak connoisseur. So they love to eat good. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like when I'm with my family, we're typically eating pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
They know the good places.
They know
to
the
check
good
out.
places. Like, I may not remember every single one of them off the top of my head, but they have a good. I mean, if they're already good cooks and chefs, or not chefs, but cooks, and like my dad's like a grill master, as he
Okay.
prefers to call himself. But they have great taste in food, so I can also thank them for their introducing me to that as well. So yeah, there's a bunch of different places. We have a really good Italian place called. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on it? It literally just like escaped my head. Like, if I think of it again, but once again, it's a local Italian eatery,
Okay.
and the owner of the restaurant was actually born and raised in Grand Junction. But his parents are Italian. Pretty cool story.
Okay.
I still don't know why I'm like completely forgetting it.
Yeah.
Which is like. It's the end of the day. I'm tired. Yeah. But anyways, amazing Italian food.
Okay.
If I can remember it, I'll get back to you on
Okay.
part 2. I'll be like, hey guys, you remember that one
part two.
time I was talking about really good Italian?
Yeah.
I remember it now, but not right now. So.
Okay. Italian joints, they have good bread.
Yeah.
So that's why
I
like
love bread. I love bread. One of my favorite carbs.
Yes. Have you discovered eateries on your own? Like going on a nice drive and you see a cool town center and you're like, hey, let's check this place out.
I guess there's been one, and actually it ended up being really good. Have you ever heard of or is it LeGrande? LeGrande. It's here in Phoenix.
Okay.
It's a Fox concept type of. It's like part of like a brand, but
Okay.
it's they have amazing. It's like a little cafe, but also kind of like hipster-ish shop. They also have really good pizza. They have amazing rotisserie chicken, which
Okay.
is like what they're known for, and amazing sandwiches, really good teas and like
Okay.
coffees. But it's on, I want to say, 44th and 44th Street and I can't remember, but
Okay.
44th Street. But
44th Street.
but
Okay.
anyways, I was just because I work at the Phoenician Resort, which is kind of in the
Okay.
Scottsdale area,
Okay.
and it's not too far away from my work. And I just took a different route home, and I happened to drive down that street, and I was like, oh, this is kind of a cute
Hey.
little, because like it has a cute outside or
Yeah.
area where I was like, that looks fun, and it also said coffee, and I'm like. Love coffee.
So
Love coffee. So I stopped there, and it ended up being a super cute little cafe slash pizzeria, and it was really awesome. But yeah, so if you've ever heard of it, it's called LeGrande. I'm actually gonna look it up right now
Okay.
just to
She's
confirm
gonna
the
look it up.
spelling it.
Okay.
But it's really good. Yeah, highly recommend. LeGrande here, if you can see. LeGrande Orange Grocery
Okay.
and Pizzeria.
Got it.
Yeah.
What eateries, in your opinion, have the best breads? It's exceptional bread. Like
That's
the focaccia bread, the loaf, and then get the slices, and every bite. It's always
Just
like the first
amazing.
time.
Oh my gosh. That's putting me on the spot for all the other bread that I've had in my
Yeah.
life. I mean, Olive Garden does have really good
Okay.
breadsticks. I have to say, if you're just going for like because when I think of a garlic breadstick, I mean, of course, everybody thinks of like massive butter and garlic and stuff. Like I kind of like just lightly salted, a nice brush of butter, and then a little, obviously a little bit of garlic, but nothing too overpowering.
Okay.
And they make it just right, and it's also crispy on the outside. So I must say they have really good bread, but I'm trying to think of, if you've ever been to Mastro's. Have you ever been to Mastro's
No.
Steakhouse? It's a really good steakhouse that's in Scottsdale.
Okay.
But was one of their like little appetizer. They serve you different types of bread, so it's like
Okay.
they'll give you the soft, just like a French
Okay.
baguette kind of, more like a softer bread, and then they'll give you the more crispy bread, and then one that I remember, it was a crispy cheese bread, and
Okay.
it was to
Yeah.
die for. It was so good, yeah. So and pretty much anything with crispy cheese and bread, I'm like,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
That's all I need.
Just
Give me the bread.
more
Just give me more
breads.
bread.
Have you been to Romano's Macaroni Grill?
Romano's? No, I've never been.
They give you this loaf,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what seasoning they put on it, and you get that oil with
Oh,
the
you get the oil
vinaigrettes,
to
and
dip
you
in
drip
it?
it in, and
That's
it's
amazing
it's
too.
just
I
top
really like
notch
that.
for
With
me.
like the balsamic.
Mhm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This one, this is well known, but Red Lobster's biscuits. Have you
Oh,
had?
yes. How did I not think about that? That
Okay.
is, to see, I really only go to Red Lobster for the biscuits.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Sometimes they do have good lobster deals every
Mhm.
once in a while. But yes, their rolls are amazing, and I wish you could I mean, actually, I think they do sell those. I was
Yes.
gonna say,
Mhm.
but it's just not the same.
Yeah,
It's not the same as I don't want to make them myself.
Mhm.
Like I want them to come out hot and fresh for me,
Yeah.
like, in a little basket and everything. So, but yes, they have amazing, and I don't know what they do to it. It's like
Mhm.
the way they put the cheese in there, and then also the other seasoning or whatever it
Yeah.
is. I don't know, but it's delicious.
This is
Whatever they
like-
put
oh
in it.
my
It's like
gosh.
something about bread. Love bread. Could talk about it all day.
Have you had done a to-go order where it was just the breads?
The to-go order?
Yeah,
No, I have
okay.
not done that, but that sounds like something I should do though, especially if it's like a Uber or something. I'm like, I don't
Uh-huh.
wanna, like, I just want to order some bread.
Yeah, I went to Olive Garden not too long ago, and I don't know what was going on, but my brain was just, I just want the bread.
Bread,
So
yeah.
I got like a 20, 24 of the
Are
breadsticks,
you serious?
and it
That's
came
so
like in like this massive
Yeah.
box. And like I walked in, I was confident, I was like, hey, if anyone's looking at her,
I feel like, who's
you
this
could,
guy
yeah.
ordering just
And
bread?
then I walked out with this big old thing
Like a
of box, and
breadstick.
I ate a lot of them. My sister kind of
I was
helped
gonna,
out a little,
I
but
was gonna say, how
I didn't
many
eat
did
all
you
of them.
eat? Was it expensive?
Um,
I was
no,
gonna say, it
I
shouldn't
don't.
be too expensive, I
It's
feel
yeah.
like. I mean, for how many did you say?
It was like
24?
24 count.
That's a decent amount. I
Yeah.
mean, but I would say if it was more than like 20 something bucks, be like, wow, they're
Yeah.
ripping you
Ooh,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was under $8,
Oh,
some
wow.
10
Wow.
to
Oh,
eight
oh, if
bucks
it's
somewhere
$10,
around there.
then sign me up. I'm going to
Okay.
go get me some
That's
24 count breadsticks
yeah.
at Olive Garden. I didn't even know that that was a possible
Yeah,
thing to
me
do.
neither. I went online. I was like, oh,
I'm gonna do
let's
it.
do it.
Ordered just the breadsticks.
Yes.
Have you had their soup though?
I've had the minestrone soup, and that is delicious.
Ah, do you like spicy? A little bit of spicy?
A little
Okay.
spice, a
Well,
little spice.
you should, or okay, well, I guess, do you like potatoes?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like kale?
Yes.
So you would probably like their zuppa toscana. That is their it has sausage, kind of like spicy Italian sausage in it,
Okay.
and it's kind of creamy-ish broth with potatoes, kale, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. But
Okay.
it's a little spicy, but not too bad. Nothing like I feel like you couldn't handle, but
Mhm.
it's really, really good, and I feel like you might like it, so you should try it next time.
Okay.
And it's amazing to dip the bread in. That's all I
Okay.
could think about was dipping the. If it's not soup, it's bread, or if soup. If it's not bread, it's soup that I'm like obsessed about. And
Yeah.
rice. I love rice.
Yeah.
Love rice. Wild rice. Oh man,
Oh my
wild
gosh.
rice is like my favorite rice of all time. If
Yeah.
anybody wanted to have a debate about rice, I could go
It's
on
just-
for days. Love rice. I could eat any type of rice.
You just like-
Sticky. I'm like, just give me the rice.
Yeah.
It's the same as bread. Just give me the bread and give me the rice. I love sticky rice, brown rice, wild rice. I don't know what it is. It's just something about those carbs, you know?
Mhm.
Just too good.
It's too good.
Too good.
Did you have moments where certain adventure spots were breathtaking? Like you didn't really know that much about it, and then you went there, and it was kind of, hey,
Like
whoa.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, there is one place, I guess like, I mean, I'm always expecting because this is a hike that I do in Pinedale, Wyoming. That's where some, my grandparents live.
Okay.
But it's this really small town. It's kind of at the base of it's very close to the Tetons, so really beautiful mountain range. But this hike is called Sacred Rim, and it overlooks pretty much like all the Tetons, and it's literally like so breathtaking. Like I think I've done the hike maybe 10 times since I was little.
Okay.
And each time it takes my breath away, and I'm like still surprised each and every day of how amazing and beautiful it is. Like it literally looks like you're standing on top of the world. Like you
Okay.
can almost see like the curvature of the earth, like because you're standing up that high. It's not quite a 14er, so I'm not, all the way up at the very, very top, but
Okay.
like it's still pretty, it's up there. The elevation is, I couldn't tell you exactly what, but I know it's not a 14er, so it's not
Okay.
that high. But it's definitely a hike you can do within less than a day. So,
Okay.
I mean, I think we completed it up and down. We can do it in like 4 to 5 hours-ish, I'd
Okay.
say. So it's not too bad, but really, it's pretty demanding hike,
Mhm.
very, it's long. Yeah, lots of
Just
reading.
give me a second.
No,
I'll be up
just give me
there.
a second. I'll meet you guys up
Yeah.
there, basically. But
Okay.
it's really cool. Like you'll go through parts where it's all just trees and it's very foresty, and then
Okay.
it'll open up and it'll be this beautiful green meadow. Like literally, you think that like deers and like Bambi's gonna come out prancing
Mhm.
around, like wildflowers everywhere, and then you'll have like the rocky parts where it's like just pure rock, and then suddenly you open up and it's just like I said, amazing. And I'll have
Mhm.
to try and show you pictures sometime so you can
Okay.
see. But it is beautiful. It is amazing. Like I said, Wyoming. You'd never really expect Wyoming, but
Yeah.
Wyoming is pretty cool. Back home, I would take night drives all the time, and up on the Colorado National Monument, we would always just drive up there at night and overlook the city, which is always just
Yeah.
really fun to do, no matter what. And I mean, we didn't technically really discover any new places that way, but I mean, it's always just an adventure just to go up there
Mhm.
anyways. It's a very windy drive, so like you have to be careful driving up there. It's always like
Yeah.
a little scary sometimes,
Yeah.
like you're going over the edge and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, there should be a guardrail here.
Yeah.
But it's really fun just to
Okay.
drive at night and do that, and like I said, overlooking the city. And at least in Grand Junction, it's not as big, definitely not as big as Phoenix. You can see
Okay.
especially when you go onto the monument, you can see all of the stars, and that
Okay.
is one of my favorite parts about that drive. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Just how vivid the night sky is up there,
Mhm.
because there's no really any city lights around, so it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
It's good to like look up and see everything.
Yeah,
and
because sometimes
take a
you forget.
breath.
Yeah, you're like, wow, like I have all of that above me. That's crazy. And you just
Mhm.
forget about it sometimes. It's good to appreciate it.
Yeah.